July 11, 1944. A wheat field in Normandy. Inside a tiger eye of the 2nd SS Panzer Division sits a veteran commander from the Eastern Front. The tank carries 100 millimeters of frontal armor, designed to survive direct engagement. In Russia or France, no Allied gun has ever broken its front plate in combat. The Tiger was built around frontal dominance. Allied 75mm and 76mm guns struggled to penetrate its thick front armor at normal combat ranges. German crews believed it could win any head-on duel, forcing enemies into risky flanking maneuvers under fire or complete withdrawal from engagement zones. But battlefield reports reveal a different reality. In Normandy, fewer than 5% of destroyed Tigers were penetrated from the front. Most were knocked out through mobility kills, side attacks, artillery coordination, or abandonment when recovery became impossible under combat pressure. American Sherman crews avoided frontal engagements whenever possible. Instead, they fought with movement and coordination. Tanks operated in sections, forcing Tigers to rotate their turrets, exposing weaker side armor where penetration was possible at close range and under controlled conditions. Normandy hedgerows and smoke rounds created constant visual disruption. German crews inside Tigers lost clear sight lines and range estimation. Their advantage, long-range accuracy, was reduced to guesswork, while Sherman's closed distance using terrain cover and coordinated movement. U.S. armored doctrine did not rely on tanks alone. Artillery and air support constantly targeted German armored formations. Before many Tigers could even establish firing positions, they were already under indirect fire or air attack, breaking formations and disrupting coordination early. The Tiger was powerful but mechanically fragile. Its heavy weight strained engines, transmissions, and suspension systems. Fuel shortages and breakdowns removed many tanks from combat before engagement even occurred, meaning destruction often happened without direct enemy fire. In the end, American crews did not defeat the Tiger through frontal penetration. They defeated it through a system, mobility, coordination, reconnaissance, and overwhelming combined pressure that made direct armor duels unnecessary and turned German strength into operational weakness. Normandy's bocage terrain changed everything. Thick hedgerows reduced visibility to meters, not kilometers. The Tiger's long-range advantage disappeared instantly. Combat became sudden and chaotic, where positioning mattered more than armor thickness or gun caliber in determining outcomes. American tank crews relied heavily on radio coordination. Shermans operated as teams rather than single vehicles. One tank suppressed, another flanked, and another repositioned. The Tiger rarely faced a single opponent, but multiple coordinated threats arriving from different directions simultaneously. Smoke became a critical weapon, not for destruction but for denial. American units used smoke shells to blind German optics, forcing Tiger crews to guess targets. Without clear sight lines, even the most powerful gun in the field lost its tactical precision advantage. Tank destroyer units provided mobile anti-armor support. They were positioned behind reconnaissance elements, ready to engage once German armor was fixed in place. Tigers were rarely allowed to choose engagement range, direction, or timing in any controlled manner. By 1944, Allied air superiority dominated the battlefield. Fighter bombers could attack armored formations from above, forcing dispersion. Even a Tiger, heavily armored on the ground, was vulnerable to aerial rockets and bombs that disrupted movement and destroyed isolated vehicles. The Tiger's weight became a liability in Normandy terrain. Mud, narrow roads, and hedgerows restricted movement. When immobilized, even briefly, Tigers became vulnerable to flanking fire, artillery, or coordinated infantry and tank assaults from multiple directions. American doctrine integrated infantry directly with tanks. Infantry located anti-tank threats and guided Shermans through hedgerows. This ensured Tigers could not isolate and destroy tanks without immediate combined arms response across multiple layers of the battlefield. As battles intensified, the Tiger's reputation remained fearsome, but its tactical freedom collapsed. It was absorbed into a system of pressure where coordination, artillery timing, and flanking geometry decided outcomes before direct fire engagement even stabilized. Sherman units refined hedgerow tactics into disciplined formations. Movement became structured and deliberate. Tanks advanced in coordinated sections designed to overwhelm any single Tiger position through constant pressure and overlapping fields of fire from multiple directions. Radio communication allowed American tank crews to operate as a unified system. Commanders could redirect fire and reposition units instantly. German Tiger crews, often isolated or loosely coordinated, could not match this operational tempo or responsiveness. When engaged, Tigers often faced multiple threats simultaneously. Shermans exploited turret traverse limitations and situational awareness gaps, forcing continuous target shifting until weaker side or rear armor became exposed under pressure. Ambushes along narrow roads frequently disrupted German armored columns. Once immobilized, Tigers became vulnerable to concentrated fire, artillery strikes, and infantry coordination operating within tightly controlled engagement zones designed for maximum effectiveness. Artillery shaped the battlefield before direct engagement began. Pre-registered fire zones forced German armor to reposition under constant pressure, reducing the Tigers' ability to establish stable firing positions or coordinated defensive lines. Tank destroyers exploited concealment behind terrain and hedgerows. They waited for German armor to enter pre-selected kill zones. Tigers were often forced into unfavorable angles where frontal armor advantage no longer provided meaningful protection. In later campaigns such as the Ardennes, fuel shortages became decisive. Tigers consumed enormous fuel quantities and often stalled before reaching objectives. Many were abandoned intact due to operational collapse rather than direct battlefield destruction. By the end of Normandy, the Tiger's reputation had shifted. It was no longer seen as invincible, not because its armor was defeated head-on, but because American forces had built